Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. I'm about to do Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin finished off really good this past year. An 11-win season, a Peach Bowl win over Penn State. Only lost to Alabama and Georgia at Georgia. Undefeated at home, basically. Won the Egg Bowl over Mississippi State. That's a really big season for him. He's had 2 double-digit winning seasons as a head football coach for Ole Miss. And I believe he's going to have it again. But let's see who all he loses to. Speaking of losing, he lost Quinshon Judkins to Ohio State. That team that's not very tough on the lines of scrimmage. So I don't expect him to do very good over there. Personally, I thought he was better off sticking around at Ole Miss. I believe he'll be missed a lot. And y'all know I'm just kidding. I'm a Michigan fan. Of course, I'm talking trash about Ohio State. Their fans do, so I'm going to do it too. Realistically, I know Ohio State is a great football team. Seriously, they do. They start off with Furman, Middle Tennessee, then they go to Wake Forest, and then they play Georgia Southern at home. Those are 4 straight wins for me. I think they're better than all those teams. They should have no problems winning. They come back home to take on Kentucky. That's a big win for them. They're way more talented than Kentucky. I think Lane Kiffin's a great coach. Might be better than Mark Stoops, Bob Stoops' brother. Bob Stoops is. I didn't call him stupid. I know he's not stupid. Again, I think they're better. It's a home game. Ole Miss wins that game, in my opinion. And then they go back-to-back. These 3 next games, 3 of these next 4 games are road games. At South Carolina, at LSU, home against Oklahoma, at Arkansas. I have them beating South Carolina, but if you look at my South Carolina video, I would not be shocked at all if South Carolina found a way to upset Ole Miss at home. Because my problem with Ole Miss and why I'm not having them go undefeated is because of Pete Golding. I don't like that defensive coordinator hire for Ole Miss. Anytime you give up 24 points at Alabama, when Alabama's offense was garbage and couldn't even hit 20 points against South Florida at South Florida, and anytime you give up 50-plus points to, I don't care who you give it up to, whether it's the number 1 team in the country in Georgia or anybody else, whether that game is played at home, at Georgia, in Mexico, it doesn't matter. That's just unacceptable. And yeah, they held Penn State to 24, 25 points. That quarterback from Penn State was not very good. And it showed in their losses to Michigan and Ohio State. So that's not really anything to brag about, in my opinion, of how they beat them. They won the Peach Bowl. Okay, congratulations. But I have them beating South Carolina. I think their offense will be too much for South Carolina's defense to handle. I know it's at South Carolina. Might be a night game. I haven't looked at the schedule as far as the times. Because some of the times for these games have been released. But I think they're a better team than South Carolina. But because it's over there and it can be a tough place to play, especially if this is at night, I give them a 60% chance to win this game. 40% chance because I do believe Shane Beamer's a decent coach. I don't think he gets enough credit. He always has his teams ready to play. And the last time he had a big game at home against a top 10, because I think Ole Miss will be a top 10 team, he beat them. Ask Tennessee. So I have them winning. I think they lose to LSU at LSU. This will be a revenge game, in my opinion, for Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers. It'll go down to the defense in this game. I still think it'll be kind of high scoring, but it won't be 50-something to almost 50-something. 40-something to 30-something, a little less high scoring. Still a great game. I think LSU's defense will be the difference in this game. I think LSU's defense will make a few key breaks to where they can kind of pull away and win this game by 2 touchdowns. But they could win this game. I know it's LSU. At LSU, though, that's the problem. So, last time they went to LSU wasn't even a top 10 team. They got the brakes beat off of them. They come back home to take on Oklahoma. I have them winning that game in a close one. Oklahoma's first year in the SEC, I've kind of already talked about it, so I don't think I need to go back into it. But I will say I think they'll struggle. This is a game Ole Miss can lose, as Oklahoma does put up points. They do have a quarterback that can move the ball up and down the field, but he's also turnover prone. Look, watch the Alamo Bowl if you don't believe me. Yeah. At Arkansas, I believe that's a win. I like Sam Pittman at Arkansas. I think he's a decent coach, but I think Ole Miss is just more talented than Arkansas, but this is a game they could lose. Again, I'm talking about a South Carolina, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. This Arkansas game they can lose because I'm not impressed with that defense. Sorry. What teams did they play last year that had explosive offenses outside of Georgia? Oh, wait. That they beat? Nobody. So, yeah. They come back home to take on Georgia. I think they catch another L. I don't think it'll be as bad as it was a year ago just because this game will be in Ole Miss. But I still think Georgia is a couple of scores better than Ole Miss. I think their defensive talent and the way their defense plays will be the difference in this game. I believe Georgia's defense will force a few turnovers against Ole Miss, and that'll be the difference. I had them winning in the Georgia video, I think 33-17 over Ole Miss, or 16, whatever it was. Yeah, go figure. At Florida, I don't care where that game's being played. I don't think much of Billy Napier, despite his transfer, because he does have as of now, he has the number 5 transfer portal class according to 24/7 Sports. But I believe they win that game. And because Jeff Lebby is the head coach of Mississippi State and he's never been a coach before, I'm going to go with them beating Mississippi State again. That puts Ole Miss at 10-2. It's hard for me to pick them to go undefeated because listen to this 4-game stretch, this 5-game stretch, really. At South Carolina, at LSU, Oklahoma back at home, at Arkansas, Georgia at home. That's a brutal 5-game stretch. It's hard for me to imagine that they go undefeated, losing those, winning all those games against all those teams. Best case scenario, I really do think. I mean, who knows? Best case, they can go 11-1. They could beat LSU. Who knows? That's very possible. They beat them last year. They kept their quarterback. LSU did not, so they could actually beat them.